Hello, my name is Heather Mackey. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today we're talking about the 5 secret keys to motivation. And if you're familiar with these keys, then they're not a secret. Awesome. The first key, when I say secret keys, I just mean the things we need to remember or bring back together, bring back together into our consciousness because we're not thinking about it in our nows. I constantly need to remember things that I've learned. And this one is an important one for me to bring back into my consciousness, become aware of again, which is that your best changes every day. The reason this is a key to motivation is that the path to motivation has on its heels discouragement. We can get motivated and then get discouraged because discouragement is there nipping at the heels of motivation. And one of the ways we can get discouraged as humans is we see our best one day. We go, oh, I'm going to join a gym or I'm going to join this yoga class. And because we feel inspired, because we feel naturally motivated that day, maybe we got the right amount of rest, the right amount of hydration, maybe we gave ourselves nourishment, maybe we're operating at optimal levels because we went for a walk in nature and our electromagnetic field of our heart balanced with the one of the earth. For whatever reason, we feel motivated and inspired, and we see ourselves go and do a yoga class or prepare a healthy meal or do the dishes or get organized. The next day, our best is not a match to that. And then the next day, the best is not a match to that. And we go, oh, I'm just not very good at doing the dishes. I just don't like hate doing the dishes. Or I'm not good at yoga. Or I thought I could join a gym, but I'm just not good at doing that gym thing. And I go to the gym. And we take our best in that future date that is different from the initial date where we were motivated and inspired, and we assume it means we are a failure. You're not a failure. Your best changes. Your moods change. Your thoughts change, which changes your feelings, changes your awareness. What you offer yourself each day changes. So your best changes, and it's always going to change, and it's always going to fluctuate. And it is not a match to someone else's best. You may have a very good friend or know people or connect with other people's social media that's like, man, I'm out here jogging every day. And you used their best to compare your best to. And you go, oh, I'm never going to be. Hey, you're never going to beat them. That's right. Good. You're you. We are, I'm not the best tractor driver. As a matter of fact, I'm probably the worst. I've never driven one. So, in that regard, I am in infancy with a task called driving a tractor. I am pretty good at being organized because I've spent a large portion of my life applying time, attention, and energy into taking steps towards becoming an organized person. I don't historically come from an organized background or teacher, but I took steps. So we're talking about taking steps to get there. And that includes being aware that it's okay for your best to change. Ooh, today I ran up 5 steps. Uh-oh, I went back 3 steps. Oh, I'm going to try and go back up 1 step. And I'm not going to worry about the fact that I'm progressing slowly up the staircase of life. That's okay. It's very helpful, and many successful people talk about having goals. They are people that establish goals, and I'm talking about the normative definition of successful, which is not my definition, but the normative definition in this realm, where you have money and you have something to show for what you've made or created. So having goals is a normative practice of many successful people based on the normative definition of successful in this realm. And they are an important practice for humans. And the reason is when we don't have something set and specific that we're moving towards, we have a tendency to have all these desires swimming around inside of us. I wish I ate healthier. I really should exercise. They always say that it's all diet and exercise. I really should get organized. Whoa, these papers. I wish I could just do the dishes. I hate doing the dishes. La, 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 la. So these desires just swim around inside of us. And when we have goals and we go, okay, there's lots of things I want for my life. I'm in a different time. We're in this pandemic time. It's a different time. Things have changed. My best is fluctuating and changing, as it always does. What do I want? Well, I've been really sedentary for a month and a half now. What I'd like to do is have some movement. So when you're setting a goal, you're not going to set the goal from being sedentary and not moving at all to doing yoga 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week. You're going to set the goal from being sedentary to stretching and moving 5 minutes a few days a week. That's it. You're just taking the very next step. So I've been sedentary for a month and a half. I think I'm going to start stretching. One of my goals is I would like to stretch, at least move my body, just like free flow, move my body, allow some of that tension out from being sedentary, just allow my body to move freely for 5 minutes a day. Just going to take that 5 minutes. And then maybe slowly increase to 10, eventually increase. Ooh, I'm going to offer myself one yoga video per week now that I'm stretching 10 minutes a few days out of the week. And I'm just going to do it for as long as I can. I'm not going to require that I complete it, right? The goal doesn't have to be 100% perfection. The goal can be movement forward on the path of that topic. So get clear about what your goals are. Are they organization goals? Are they cleaning goals? Are they physical health goals? And what are they? And so I think a lot of times we as humans jump from, I'm going to be the perfect physical body with the getting it all done, taking care of my business. And we're having a human experience, and we have moods and depression, and people die and sad things happen. And so rather than trying to attain perfection, let's just try to attain movement forward. That's enough. Movement forward is enough. And then once you've moved forward, let's move forward again. That's enough. You're moving up the staircase. So first step is recognizing that your best changes and giving yourself permission to have your best change so you don't get discouraged as you start to move up the staircase. Second step is having clear goals that are reachable, attainable goals to where you can go, oh my God, I did start stretching 5 minutes a day. Fantastic. Now I need to set a new goal. That goal was reached. That was a reachable goal and I reached it. Third step is to mind your mind. What are you offering your eyes and your ears to receive and put into your mind? How much negativity, how much negative words and images, how many negative images, how many negative stories, how many negative thoughts are you filling your mind with? Negativity, negative stories, negative images are a great way from going from inspired or motivated to depressed. I got to tell you, depressed people don't exercise and they don't get the dishes done. I know because I've spent a lot of my life there. And if you want to take the staircase down to depression, a great way to do that is to just fill your consciousness with every negative thing you can get your hands on. And it is a quick route away from motivation. So when we're talking about minding your mind as the third step, what that means is 2 ways to do that. You can either minimize the amount of awareness you place on negativity. I do that by never watching the news and communicating with my neighbors. And they say, Heather, it's a pandemic. And I go, interesting, duly noted. And they go, Heather, you need to put on a bandana or something when you go out right now. Okay, thanks, duly noted. So I have really helpful neighbors that I'm friendly with that keep me abreast of the rules I need to follow. And I have not missed the news at all for my entire life. I don't miss it. I'm not missing out on anything. But if you love the news, and that's you're like, I love the news. I'm trying to read that news. I am into that news. I want the news. Then read the news. Read it 7 times a day. If that's your jam, that's a jam on your biscuits. But fill the mind also, fill the mind, fill the ears, fill the eyes with things that inspire, things that motivate. You know, you can find someone with your same body type, with a similar background to you, that is doing things like exercising or doing things like getting organized, your same age range. There are 89-year-old men and women running marathons out there in a normative age. I mean, a normative time when we're not having a pandemic. And you can see that there are people that do achieve goals, and you can fill your mind with some consciousness around people that you relate to meeting their goals, so that you can more clearly see, like, oh, look, it's possible for them. Maybe that's possible for me. And hope is a great step out of depression towards motivation. So we give ourselves hopeful images, positive images, uplifting images. I do this in as many ways as I can. One way that I lift up my mind is just watching images of animal best friends of different species. Or anything that's funny, or watching comedy, or anything that just lifts, lightens my heart, moves me up the stairs, out of the depression pit of having focused on negative stuff. As the commander of the ship, may I mind my mind so that it goes in a place that serves me and the whole. Minding your mind helps you to mind your mouth, because garbage in, garbage out, right? So mind your mouth is another way. A common thing I've said to myself and heard people say to themselves are, I'm lazy. Baby, you're not lazy, you're resting. And you have a right to rest. Especially in the Western world, we're like, 2 weeks of vacation, if that, get out of here. Get back to work, you know? So you're allowed to rest, and that doesn't make you lazy. And you are allowed to not be the human on this earth rock that loves to go do the dishes. I decided a long time ago, I'm going to have to do the dishes till the day I die. So I might as well stop saying I hate that task, because I'll do it until the day I die. So let's just go ahead and make peace with it. Chop wood, carry water. Doing the dishes is a Zen movement. Let me Zen out and do the dishes. But even if you decide that you have great disdain for that chore, you can mind your mouth about it and not say, oh, I hate doing the like, that's not helping. That's not helping motivation at all. So let's not have that conversation with ourselves. Let's not call ourselves fat. Let's not call ourselves lazy. Let's not say ugly things that bring us down the staircase to the point of depression. Let's help lift ourselves up the stairs. So the fourth key, third key is minding your mind. Fourth key is minding your mouth. Not perpetually you have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that you'll follow your own advice and be aware of what you're saying that doesn't serve you. So when you hear ugly words, rather than letting it trickle in and become the content of your consciousness, you can go, I'm sorry, Heather, I did not mean to call you lazy, girl. You have the right to rest. Today is a rest day. And so let's think about tomorrow. And this is where we get the 5th step, which is visualize. The 5th step is this is often the most powerful step for me in actually being a very driven, activated, motivated person. It's just visualizing it. I got to tell you, I have lots of days of rest as of late, and that is historically not true for me. And part of why that is historically not true for me is I am almost always visualizing me doing things in my next day. So even today, if I take a day of rest and remember that my best changes and I'm allowed to rest today and just watch movies and goof around and make noises and be silly in my house and not have to produce today, and I'm allowed to play, what I will do is visualize the very next day pulling out my yoga mat, getting some awesome music on that I love, listen to Prof, listen to some hip hop, whatever I want, whatever gets me activated, throw on some punk if I want to get just slam this out. And doing yoga, whatever your jam is, and then doing yoga. Or visualize myself like, ooh, I rested today, And I'm somebody that typically doesn't have dishes in the sink, but sometimes that happens for me. And that comes from years of making peace with doing dishes and just being like, it is in to do the dishes. But some days I don't do it because my best changes every day. Some days I feel more depressed because I've let too many negative things enter my consciousness. And I just visualize the next day getting up, making a French press, and doing the dishes. I just offer myself that image. I offer my cells, I offer my DNA, I offer my consciousness, I offer my feelings, I offer my mind, the awareness of the image of me being motivated and doing that thing, doing 5 minutes of stretching tomorrow because I didn't do any today. Not me doing a 1 hour routine that's like FXP 9742 that my friend is doing and whatever, little things we need to call it. I'm not doing that. I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm impressed by your motivation, but your level of motivation is so not a match to my sedentary lifestyle. Let me go find a teacher that's just stretching 5 minutes a day and just watch them stretch, get motivated to stretch. So helping yourself to visualize with positive images you're feeding yourself, and then actually using that positive imagery to visualize you connected to it. Seeing yourself the next day getting organized, seeing yourself. And I'm not talking about I've organized all of my papers in my entire house. It's steps. It's not jumping from the bottom of the staircase to the top of the staircase, which is a mountain high. It's about seeing yourself the next day. I want to settle my debts. I don't know where all my debt papers are. Tomorrow I'm going to see myself just finding a few of those debt papers and getting a little bit more clear about it. I'm just going to use this book that I bought out of the 17 books I bought that I haven't written in yet. And I'm going to use this as my debt book. And I'm going to figure out what my debts are. And I'm going to get good with my finances. I'm going to do that by just starting to find the papers that express the debt. I'm not going to immediately resolve my debt. I'm just going to take the next step. So one step at a time, we get motivated and we move up the staircase. And the way we get motivated, the keys to motivation are not contributing to our depression, which is the decline and the opposite of motivation. I've been depressed many times and I don't even have the motivation to be alive, much less do the dishes or exercise. So we need to take out of the life those things that contribute to depression and add into the life those things that add to inspiration and inspire ourselves. And know that you're doing a great job because your best changes. We can offer ourselves kind words today. I rested today. I deserve it. I'm allowed to rest. I see myself doing a bit of stretching or dishwashing tomorrow. Today we offer our minds these words. I'm doing an excellent job. I am so proud of all of my actions. I see that I am able to rest more and more and slow my frequency and my vibration down so that I don't have to move so fast through life, burning through life. I allow myself to slow down. And as I slow down, I recognize my desires. And I fulfill those desires one at a time by getting clear on what they are and taking little steps and little actions toward them. This builds self-respect as I keep my word to myself. I learn to trust myself as I honor my inner word to myself to have these changes occur. I love me. I'm proud of me. I'm doing a fantastic job. So mote it be. Have a beautiful day.